Boom! What's up, everyone? Marc Lobliner, TigerFitness.com. I've been getting a lot of emails on this because a lot of people know I started my career with Weider Publications and Joe Weider. And I was sitting at Ron's house. I was actually alone. Ron was out getting people from the airport. Actually, no, they were setting up the show. And I read that Joe Weider had passed away. We all know Joe Weider was pretty old. He was old when I worked for him. And this was 10 to 12 years ago. And I was still shocked and saddened, even though we knew how old he was and that it was just about time. I remember when I first heard of Joe Weider. I was at Big 5 Sporting Goods in Culver City, California, and I needed to buy a mass gainer. And I bought Joe Weider's Mega Mass, I believe it was 2000. I remember seeing him on there with his arms crossed, the likeness of Joe Weider. Fast forward to 2000, and I was working at Bally Total Fitness, and I was recruited by a man named Bob Washburn to interview for a position in advertising because of how I conducted myself at Bally Total Fitness as their personal training coordinator. I interviewed and got the position. From there, I worked with Joe Weider for 4.5 years. Joe was Joe. Remember when I first walked into Weider Publications, the bronze statues, the largest collection of bronze, I believe, in California at least. I remember the big pictures of Lou Ferrigno, Arnold Schwarzenegger, Franco Columbu. I remember the staircase. I remember the first time I walked up there and I met Joe. And everybody could do the voice. Oh, hi, how you doing? I'm Joe Weider. And I remember working alongside him and hearing the stories of Joe. Watching him in his ornery ways get his point across. Watching him speak his love for the sport. In 1939, Joe Weider founded Your Physique magazine. He was in Canada. He had no money. And he and his brother started Your Physique. From there, muscle power, muscle builder, to muscle and fitness, to flex, muscle fitness hers, men's fitness shape, and it blossomed from there. Joe Weider is the reason you're watching this channel right now. Joe Weider is the founder of the fitness movement. Joe Weider's 50 predictions, such as smoking causes cancer, and that bodybuilding and weight training will be the entry into every sport in the future, were laughed at, but soon realized to be the truth. Joe Weider is the godfather of bodybuilding. He came in when all there was Bob Hoffman and his magazine. Joe Weider launched supplements. He had a magazine empire. Joe Weider brought us Arnold Schwarzenegger, brought him over from Austria. Joe Weider started the Mr. Olympia and was instrumental in everything we see now. Joe Weider was pivotal in the gym industry, popularizing it, mainstreaming it. Joe Weider is the icon. Joe Weider is the reason we have bodybuilding. Joe Weider's the reason I was in Plattsburgh this weekend at a bodybuilding show. Joe Weider started it all. Joe Weider was a businessman. Joe Weider had kids and relatives such as Eric Weider, immensely talented, good human beings. Joe Weider employed many people. Joe Weider gave me my start in the industry. Joe Weider is the reason I'm in the shape I'm in now. Joe Weider is the reason a lot of people started training for health and fitness. I remember hearing Joe say in person once, a bodybuilder isn't someone who gets on a bodybuilding stage. A bodybuilder is someone who improves their body. Whether it be a woman who wants to get in shape and goes on a walk, goes stretching, whether it's a man who wants to build big biceps. A bodybuilder is simply someone building their body for the better. And that's why I'm somber. I shed a couple tears. I was alone in Ron's house working, and they were setting up the show. I was guest posing. I was getting stuff done. I actually went and did some shopping. And just knowing that the end of an era is here was enough to bring me to tears. I knew Joe Weider, and I've seen other fitness channels put out their tributes to Joe Weider, such as Ice Cream Fitness and others. But I had a different connection than any of these fitness channels. Joe Weider is the direct reason I'm here. Joe Weider is the reason I started in this industry. So, whether you like him or hate him, whether you like Flex Magazine, Muscle and Fitness, MD, none of those magazines would be here right now if Joe wouldn't have started Your Physique in 1939. So I waited to do this until I was in my house, on my own treadmill, so I can really get into this. I'm going to cut this short, guys. Just next time you're in the gym, give a little moment of silence like we did at the show in Plattsburgh this weekend, the Uprising. A moment of silence for this man who brought us this beautiful fitness movement. A moment of silence for this great man who gave me my start, and a lot of other people, who employed a ton of people. A man who really, deep down inside, cared and loved this sport more than anyone else. Joe Weider, may you rest in peace. My prayers go out to your family, to Ben, who passed away as well, to your son Eric, actually your nephew Eric, to your son Marc, to your wonderful family, to your friends, like Peter McGuff, to Editor-in-Chief Sean Perrine at Muscle and Fitness, who's dealing with this great loss to the bodybuilding community, to Arnold, who's been close to Joe and still is. My prayers go out to you and your families. This is my cardio confession for the day. This is it, guys. Joe Weider is the reason I'm here. He's the reason you're watching this. For you younger kids, I encourage you to look into who Joe Weider was and what he brought to this world. Joe Weider was a great man, and his legend will live on. Every time someone walks on a treadmill, every time someone picks up a dumbbell, every time someone hits their PR on squats, every time someone looks at the internet for information on bodybuilding, every time someone buys a protein powder, Joe Weider, the legend, lives on. I'm trying to figure out a way to work in It's Not a Game. And I'm not going to scream at the camera because this isn't the time. But Joe Weider, you're the reason I have my tagline. So Joe, in your honor, I will say it in your voice. It's not a game.
Yeah, check it out, yeah, 2013, listen, yeah. I would applaud you, but I don't bear arms. My thoughts are the scared guard, across to the square off. Slithering snakes, slid under letter in.